I am doing my makeup, there's clicking because I'm making pumpkin bread. Because the app might be going away, I'm going to tell you guys about the books I have coming out this year. The first one is called Irish Cream Bundt Cake. It is book 2 in the Sweet Treats Bakery series. What am I doing next? It is book 2 in the bakery series, Sweet Treats Bakery series, and it is about Sloane, the oldest parentified daughter. Well, they all have, she only has sisters. So it is about her and the Irish maintenance repair tech. It will be out March 10th, just in time for St. Patrick's Day. It is about, he comes in because her oven is broken. He's like, hey, the part that you need is super cheap, like $10. And she's like, great, I love it. And he's like, yeah, the only issue is the way your oven is built. The part is like inside, so I have to take apart your whole oven just to like replace this part. And she's like, I love that for me. Not really, but so he's like, yeah, the labor is what's gonna get you. And then she's like, what's that? He's like, I will tell you what, I have a St. Patrick's Day party. My mom is coming in from Ireland. She wants to see the American version of St. Patrick's Day, pretty much. And I have my grandmother's Irish cream bundt cake recipe. Can you make it for my party, for my mother? And I will come in after hours and I will do the labor for free. And she's like, I make a cake, super easy. You do like $2,000 worth of labor. Of course. So they've been spending time together. It's all great. Hubba hubba. The end. Happily ever after. The end. My next book is Rockstar and the Reception. Hold on. It is set in 1987. It is about Susie, and Susie just graduated from law school. She took the bar. She's waiting on her results, and she's from Los Angeles. Her sister is about to get married, and so she has to go back home. The only hitch in that situation is her coworker at the 24-hour copy business, keep in mind 1987, is her cover because her mom wouldn't stop bothering her about dating, and she's like, dude, I'm in law school. And so she was like, yeah, I'm dating my coworker. And that was like a year prior. So her mom, like, she has this like whole fake relationship like to her mom, and she's like, no one's ever gonna know because they're in California and I'm in Michigan, and like, what are we gonna do? So then her mom is like, hey, I need his last name so that I can get his plane ticket, so that we can have our travel agent get the plane ticket, because keep in mind, 87. So her mom is calling her on like Copy King's phone. So one of the times she's like, hey, mom, I'll call you back. And then she helps someone, her mom calls her back at the copy center, and Nixon answers, and he's like, this is my last name. Why? And her mom is like, well, you only hear his side, but pretty much his mom's like, or her mom's like, hey, you're coming to the wedding. And he's like, okay, cool. Keep in mind, her dad is Robert Kardashian type. So he's very well connected in Los Angeles, which means he's very good friends with a record producer. And that record producer, Nixon, wants to be in touch with. So he says, I will go to the wedding as your date. And hold on. I will go to the wedding as your date if you introduce me to this record producer. So she's like, decent trade. So she does it, and then blah, 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 one bed trope, happily ever after. And then the next book is called, and that's coming out June or July. The next book is called The Curse of the Guild, Volume 1, Torn. And that is coming out in September. And it is about a woman named Callie. She is a witch, and she lives in a community that has been far removed for like 100 years of like civilization. So it's just them. They're all witches, and they only have girls. It is outside of the gates of the guild, is colonial era Salem. And then they're all women. How do they make babies? Okay, cool, great question. Every fall, they have every 22-year-old witch pairs up with one guy that shows up. He has to put on a pumpkin head. He has to, do a whole specific song and dance. Not exactly, but, a whole rigmarole. So then okay, so he does a whole song and dance, a dual POV, by the way. And so he shows up and he does the whole thing, and they're like, Interesting. Callie is the most powerful witch in the guild, and therefore everybody's afraid of her power. She doesn't know anything because they don't want her to. And so she's like, I don't know anything. She is a hunter for the guild. That's like, she doesn't like being there because they're afraid of her. And so she just has to kind of like exist there, and she's like, hey, I just got to do what I got to do, and then hopefully I can get out. But really, she knows she can't. And then it's a romantasy, so not happily ever after just yet. It's a trilogy, and you kind of have to see where things go from there. The next book that's going to come out is Raspberry Truffles. It is a Halloween book, and it is the fourth daughter, Sarah Sweeting. It's the third book in the Sweet Treats Bakery series, and it is all about her and her meeting her girlfriend. And so it's sapphic, and her girlfriend, they sign up for a haunted house, and her girlfriend's like, oh yeah, I'm so excited about it, and she's like, yeah, it's so dumb. And her not her girlfriend yet, is like, I'm so excited about it, are you signing up, blah 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 blah. And then Sarah's like, no. So then she leaves, and then Sarah's like, I'm gonna put my name on the list. Guess I'm gonna be in the haunted house. So it is Raspberry Truffles. She's also the chocolatier, so it's gonna be pretty cool. And that's coming out in October, late October, in time for Halloween. If you have stayed with me for this long, I hope you enjoy my books, and follow me, follow my Substack, follow my socials, and catch you on the flip side. Home skillet.